Welcome everyone. I think we should start. So I think last time we were on this paragraph, fear, and also the fear not only on the surface but fear deeply embedded in the physical consciousness in the cells. So we had done a meditation also on this, and today maybe we can go further and take further paragraphs that are there. So let us go forward. Yeah, if there are any willing participants to read, then we can unmute and maybe read. Yeah, just maybe this much first.
Namaskar. Yes,
Namaste.
ma'am.
Yes.
So that sentence in the next one.
Yeah, just this one first. I don't know whether we should stop here or continue
Okay.
with the other one. Yeah.
Do not torment yourself and do not worry. Above all, try to banish all fear. Fear is a dangerous thing which can give importance to something which had none at all. The very fear of seeing certain symptoms renew themselves is enough to bring about this repetition. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hmm. तो वही बात है, जिस भी चीज से हम डरने लग जाते हैं उसको हम बड़ा बना रहे होते हैं. And not only the fear of physical illnesses, but anything that we begin to fear about, we are just making it more and more bigger. तो ये अब मेरे ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कि मैं किस चीज को बड़ा बनाना चाहती हूँ. डू आई वांट टू मेक रिमेम्बरेंस ऑफ मदर श्री अरोबिंदो बिगर फॉर मी, faith in certitude in them bigger for me, or my insecurities bigger? तो ये हमारे ऊपर है. और आई थिंक इट्स ओनली लेटर आफ्टर मेनी मेनी एक्सपीरियंसेस दैट वी रियलाइज दैट वी हैव अ चॉइस, दैट हम निहत्थे नहीं है. वी आर नॉट विक्टिम ऑफ सिचुएशंस एंड वी आर द वन who are making the thing that we fear bigger and bigger by fearing it again and again. So mother says, do not torment yourself. This is how we torment ourselves. We must have seen how thinking about things, as Sri Aurobindo says, to quiet the mind, don't think about things that disturb you. But we do the reverse. We think about the things that disturb us. How compelled we think about, how compelled we feel that क्या करें, सोचे ना तो क्या करें, as if कुछ बस में ही नहीं है हमारे. So that mastery slowly we have to develop before we can even talk about any higher state of consciousness or super mind or supramental consciousness. The mind has to become the leader first. Mind has to have the mastery over the being, the feelings, the thoughts, the body, the cellular consciousness, that if I say I'll not think, then I will not think. And we all know how much we have to improve in this aspect. So we have to stop torturing ourselves. This is how we torment ourselves. Do not torment yourself and do not worry. Above all, try to banish all fear. Fear is a dangerous thing which can give importance to something which had none at all. तो दिमाग हमें ऐसा दिया है भगवान ने कि जितना हम सोचना चाहें वर्स्ट पॉसिबल, उतना हम सोच सकते हैं. किसी भी आप सिचुएशन को पकड़ लो अपने जीवन की, और अगर आप चिंतित हो उसके बारे में, आप वरी में हो, उसको आप सोचना शुरू करो, सोचना शुरू करो, यू कैन गो टू द वर्स्ट पॉसिबल, you can just how we usually are by default making it just the worst possible we can go. सबसे ज्यादा चंचल मन कहा गया है. It's like so fast. The moment I think of Jupiter, I don't have to go to Jupiter, but I'm with Jupiter. I'm here. It's with me. So just like that, whatever we want to make big, we can make big. So what am I making big each moment? Am I making big my faith and certitude that the divine is looking after all of us, and our lives are unfolding in the way that they are supposed to, although we may not know about it. We have little windows only, which have not the full knowledge, but there is someone who has the true knowledge. So I may not know, but having that certitude that although I don't know, but I know that I'm being taken care of. So that has to become bigger rather than the fear. So we make bigger or we give importance to something which had none at all. The mere fear of seeing certain symptoms. Now, with regard to the physical illnesses, the mere fear of seeing certain symptoms renew themselves is enough to bring about this repetition. So you may be, you may have some certain illness, and again after some time you see certain abnormalities in your body, and again you see that the fear is there, that oh my god, what if that has come again, what if I'm going to maybe be sick again. So rather than that, if we can catch ourselves and just immerse ourselves in the divine remembrance, this has to be done very full of effort, because by default we go only negative. It's very rare individuals who by default will go positive, and they must have done some earlier practice. So this, I think this also resonates with the power of thought that we had done earlier, that how to use thought rather than in a negative sense, in a positive sense. Yeah, so any reflections over here, anyone? So we go ahead in that case, if there is nothing. Yeah, if anyone would like to read this one now.
I can read if nobody else is. Fear is hidden consent. When you are afraid of something, it means that you admit its possibility and thus strengthen its hand. It can be said that it is a subconscient consent. Thank you.
Thank you. I think this is very revelatory, because most of the times we don't even know that we are consenting to be ill. हमें लगता है कि हम क्या करते, हम बेचारे थे, जबकि mother is revealing to us that fear is a hidden consent. You are actually saying that by fearing anything, also in terms of physical diseases, but also in our life, whenever we are uh, allowing the fear to be and making it bigger, there as if we are saying yes, we are ascertaining the possibility of that thing to happen, whatever negative I am assuming. So fear is hidden consent, to know that we are making a choice. And when you are afraid of something, It means that you admit its possibility and thus strengthen its hand. तो आप एनिमी पार्टी के खेमे में जाके बैठे हैं और आपको पता ही नहीं है कि आप ये कर रहे हैं. So very interesting how we do it all the time. It can be said it is a subconscious consent. So this is where we were talking about writing affirmations, because that works at the subconscious level. So whenever I'm fearful about anything in my life, either my physical consciousness, the body, some disease, or some relationships, work, or life generally, wherever we see fear rising up, if we can reaffirm into something positive and which takes us higher and expands us, and write it down, keep writing it down, keep writing it down, that really goes into the cells, and then that subconscious consent that one is giving, that can be withdrawn, that sanction can be withdrawn. और ये पावर तभी पता लगती है जब इस पे काम करते हैं. बिना काम किए तो मैं कितना भी पढ़ लूँ, पूरी इंटीग्रल हीलिंग बुक पढ़ लूँ, इट डजंट मैटर. भाषण भी मैं कितने दे लूँ, बट इफ माई इन माई लाइफ इज, इफ इट्स नॉट हैपनिंग, then yeah, just nothing. And why subconscious? Because I'm not consciously wanting fear. आप देखोगे कॉन्शियसली हम सब में से कोई भी डरना नहीं चाहेगा. So that's why it's there, undercurrent. अगर कोई आपसे पूछे या मेरे से पूछे कि do you want to be afraid, we will never say that no, I don't want to be afraid. Of course, we'll say that. But it is a hidden consent. It is under the layers. So consciously, I'm not wanting to be fearful, but it is there in the backdrop. And it is acting from there because somewhere I must have given it permission. And now that permission has to be taken away. That is where we see those words of Sri Aurobindo, where he talks about become the observer, become the witness, and know that you have the sanction, and you can at all times withdraw that sanction. कि मुझे नहीं इसमें लॉस्ट रहना, मुझे इस ड्रामा में लॉस्ट नहीं रहना, विथड्रॉ, you withdraw that sanction and gain power. Fear is hidden consent. When you are afraid of something, it means that you admit its possibility and thus strengthen its hand. It can be said that it is a subconscious consent. So anything over here before we move on to the next longer one? It's very long. Yeah. Oh, it's here, ending here.
Yeah, so I mean, although of course how it's said that fear is a hidden consent, but after reading this, it's quite revelatory. Like I've tried to, at my own level, look at various fears and all at different points of time. And yet, this hidden consent thing, I think again, it's hitting me quite strongly today, because if I'm saying that what if this might happen, that means I'm consenting, right? I am recognizing its possibility. And again, that line from Savitri, that I don't obey the God that slays, I obey the God that saves. So if I'm sitting there vibrating in the vibrations of the fear, so how you talk about the binary function. So at that time, I'm not going for faith. I'm not holding on to faith. I'm not standing on faith. मेरी पार्टी चेंज हो गई है ना. I'm on the other side saying कि अरे what if the worst can happen? And there is this Tulsidas who's sitting and standing or whatever saying कि तुलसी भरोसे राम के निर्भय होके जी अनहोनी होनी नहीं, होनी हो तो होए. So मतलब that is my possibility. So I don't even realize, like you said, somewhere in between, that it feels that my thinking is helping. It feels that I don't have a choice, that I'm scared. That remember what happened last time? Oh my God, what if that happens again? But allowing myself to say that, I'm saying, yes, yes, you can come again. You are bigger. I am small. You are more powerful. I am weak. And of course, there is something that I must, you are the one that I have to be scared of. And if I'm there, that means I'm not where I need to be. So that's a very good window to see next time if I feel fear, to see how it's working. And it doesn't feel like a subconscious fear. I mean, it is obviously subconscious, but looking at it from this side, it's very active also, right? It's like happening right in front of
नहीं,
me, but subconscious tells.
सबकॉन्शियस का मतलब देखो, मतलब एक्टिवली आप नहीं चाहोगे उस स्टेट में होना ना, है ना? एक्टिवली, कॉन्शियसली
Yeah.
you would not want to be fearful, but it is there.
Yeah.
So that means working at a deeper level,
Yeah.
है ना? लेकिन वही है कि वो डीपर लेवल पे कहीं ना कहीं, एज यू वर शेयरिंग ऑलरेडी, कहीं ना कहीं हमने वो हाँ कर रखी है और हम उसी हाँ में हाँ मिलाए जा रहे हैं कि हाँ, ये जो गंदी चीज है वो होनी चाहिए. उसकी
Yeah.
पॉसिबिलिटी हम और एसर्टेन कर रहे हैं. यस,
या और तो हम बोल ये रहे हैं कि हमें चाहिए नहीं, है
बोल
ना,
रहे
तो
हैं कि
इट
नहीं चाहिए.
फील्स कि हम ऑपोजिट साइड पे हैं,
हाँ,
बट हम सेम साइड पे ही खड़े होके बोल रहे हैं कि हाँ हाँ तुम बहुत बड़े हो और मैं तुमसे डर रहा हूँ. और
बिल्कुल.
या थैंक यू.
And this, I have seen this happening also in terms of, जैसे हम whenever we are trying to take risks, है ना? अब जैसे मुझे याद है when I used to maybe take lifts, and it is very important not to tell these kind of things which no people will be fearing. You may not have any fear. So when I am taking a ride in somebody's car, which I have to take because of some reason, then I have no fear, and things will happen, in when there is no fear, things happen really, in faith, in certitude. But the moment you share these things with people, होता क्या है, they begin to make mental formations, just like we are making mental formations all the time. तो वो आप नहीं कर रहे होगे कुछ, वो कुछ मेंटल फॉर्मेशंस फॉर्म करना शुरू कर देंगे, और उसकी वजह से कुछ इट्स वर्किंग एट सच अ लार्ज कलेक्टिव लेवल कि किसने क्या अपनी वो कंट्रीब्यूशन दे दी, हमें पता भी नहीं चलेगा. सो आई वाज हियरिंग समथिंग, एंड उसमें देयर वाज अ मेंशन ऑफ how when we talk about things or when we write down things, we concretize them. उनको आप concrete कर देते हो, उनको आप like we were sharing that the more I think about, okay, this can happen, more I am concretizing it. तो श्री अरबिंदो क्या करते थे, although he used to foresee the events already, he would know that these things will happen, but he will not really directly talk about it कि हाँ ये होने वाला है, because he said that the moment I speak it out as if I'm concretizing it, and the moment I concretize that, all the adverse forces from all sides will try to now annihilate that thing. If it's a good thing that he said that okay, this is going to happen, I am prophesizing today, तो जैसे ही आपने उसको बोला कि हाँ ये अच्छा, ये शुभ होने वाला है, तो क्या होता है कि उसको अभी हुआ नहीं है वो, the moment you speak it out, and especially coming out from the mouth of a yogi, a seer, an avatar, all the adverse forces come to annihilate it, to not let it now happen. So he would always give hints and clues, indirect hints and clues. तो जब हम, आपने देखा होगा, जब भी हम कुछ अच्छा करना चाह रहे होते हैं, अपनी लाइफ में, और हमने देखा होगा कि अगर हम ज्यादा लोगों से वो चीज पहले ही शेयर कर देते हैं ना, it's quite a possibility that we get a badha in between. While if we keep it to ourselves, or maybe to a couple of well-wishers only who have good mental formations for us, then it is taken care of. अगर ज्यादा बात कर लेते हैं उसके बारे में ऑलरेडी इधर उधर कि हाँ पता है तुझे ये होने वाला है, ये होने वाला है, and at times it may not happen or some obstacle may come. So it's like, work going on in the subtle domains, occult domains, and whatever we say, whatever we are thinking, whatever we are writing, we don't even realize how much power we have. तो अगर करना ही है वो सब जो कि हम करते ही हैं ऑल द टाइम, तो क्यों ना अच्छा करें, that I know that I am taken care of, and we all are taken care of. All shall be well, all is going well. Things like that, if we keep on affirming, writing down in our head, in our feelings, in our writing, that really helps. So knowing that, as we were sharing, that knowing that always we are giving consent to something or the other. अब किसकी पार्टी में होना है वो हमारे ऊपर है, निर्भर करता. We are not compelled, we have a choice. We always have a choice if we want to exercise. In the beginning it may be difficult, exercising that choice, क्योंकि वो पुराने पैटर्न से निकलना होता है और नए में ढलना होता है. स्टार्टिंग में डिफिकल्टी होती है, कभी भी किसी नए वातावरण में जाते हैं, इट हैज देयर ओन चैलेंजेस, बट व्हेन यू गेट अडैप्टेड, you find your own ways, then it's becomes easier. So in the beginning we have to put a lot of effort to change the negative thinking and hidden consent into a conscious consent to side with the divine powers and not with the anti-divine forces. टाइम लगता है शुरू में. Yeah. So anything more here? और ये भी मैंने देखा है, अगेन एज आई वाज शेयरिंग डे टू डे थिंग्स. अच्छा ये अगर ये हो गया तो, तो अब जैसे वी हैव इलनेसेस ऑफ ऑल सॉर्ट्स, and always there is a chance to happen again, you fall a prey to that illness again. The chance is always there, but you will have you I'm sure all of us have relatives like that. वो नेगेटिव चीज को पकड़ते हैं, अगर वो आपसे मिलने आएंगे, और इन लोगों से बहुत दूर रहना चाहिए, कितने भी आपके सगे हों इनसे दूर रहना चाहिए, कि वो बार बार आपको याद दिलाएंगे कि आप बीमार हैं, कि बार बार आपको याद दिलाएंगे कि आपको हॉस्पिटल जाना चाहिए, आपको डॉक्टर को दिखाना चाहिए, आपको ये डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट रन करना चाहिए और वो ये करना चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर ये हो गया तो वो हो गया तो. वो कभी भी ये नहीं बोलेंगे कि अरे आप तो यू आर वेल टेकन केयर बाय द डिवाइन एंड नथिंग कैन हैपन. वो नहीं बोल पाएंगे. बहुत रेयरली we'll find relatives like that. Mostly we will find people who prick on these negative things and bring to your consciousness also negative things. तो ऐसे लोगों से दूर इसको कुसंगत कहा जाता है. एक तो दिमाग हमारा कुसंगी है, और प्लस ऐसे लोग जो हमें मिल जाते हैं, हमारे सो कॉल्ड वेल विशर्स, वो भी कुसंगी है. इनसे दूर रहना चाहिए, चाहे कितने भी सगे हों. And this is not, it's not about a couple of people, it's about this collective negativity that we all carry in ourselves. Ill will, mother says. कहीं ना कहीं हम चाह रहे होते हैं कि ये भी ठीक ना रहे. तो ड्रामा चाहिए होता है ना, वाइटल को ड्रामा चाहिए होता है लाइफ में. तो सब कुछ ठीक चल रहा है तो ड्रामा ही नहीं है, कुछ हैपनिंग हो रहा है लाइफ में, कभी ये बीमार पड़ा, कभी वो बीमार पड़ा, उसमें आपके पास मसाला है कुछ, आप एडमिट नहीं करोगे कभी भी, बट दिस इल विल इज देयर. Collective ill will है. There's nothing personal about it, but these kind of people are everywhere, in the ashram, out of ashram, holy places, in the family, on the streets. तो इनसे दूर रहना चाहिए, इनकी कंपनी नहीं करनी चाहिए. ये ऑलरेडी हमारे पास अपने दिमाग की कंपनी है, that is good enough negativity for us to handle. Yes, Jagat.
Yes, when you were sharing this, I was able to connect with something. One of my experiences. I have an aunt. इनके घर में ना, I'll give you a scenario कि the moment I used to enter the house, पूरे walls में ना, everywhere there was शिव जी, there was पार्वती जी, there was भगवान होते थे on all four walls, and she would always be proud that मतलब wherever I see the God in the photos and all. Then I would think कि बड़े भक्त हैं and all that very good, and I I used to मतलब ऐसे मतलब अच्छा अच्छा लगता था मुझे. But there was a time when I had to spend like I think 2 months in their house because my mom had an operation and she was in Odisha. So I was in my ninth grade, and I realized that she was believing in God. They were praying. My cousin, who was like 4 years older, younger than I, he was also doing all this, and I had some good habits developed there. But also, what I realized is that in the summer, in the July time, he would go out with a monkey cap to play. He would have a monkey cap, and he would have his sometimes he would also have his mittens on. I was like kind of surprised because I am from South India, and in South इतना ठंड तो होता नहीं है कि yeah, maybe in extreme winter. I would ask my aunt like why is he wearing a monkey cap? हम क्रिकेट में सारे हंस रहे हैं. तो she said नहीं अगर cold हो जाए तो then she would say that. एंड इवन इफ ही अगर मैम अगर जो ड्राई कफ होता है ना कभी कभी कि कुछ मतलब इनहेल कर लिया कुछ कर लिया तो ना ही वुड गेट सो मेनी एंटीबायोटिक्स कि इट ही हैड अ बॉक्स ऑफ एंटीबायोटिक्स एंड दिस किड ऑल्दो ही डिडंट लाइक इट एट वन पॉइंट ही इज लाइक मतलब थोड़ा अगर खांसी हो थोड़ा अगर सिर दर्द तो चलो खोलो एंटीबायोटिक्स एंड इन दोस 2 months आई ऑल्सो लॉस्ट माई हेल्थ आई वाज एट माय वीकेस्ट पॉइंट मैं खेल नहीं पा रहा हूँ कुछ नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ एंड देन आई रियलाइज दैट एंड नाउ इट ही इज माय बेस्ट फ्रेंड आल्सो एंड he's like he has the wisdom to make his choices, but the effects of how he was brought up, especially the food and the kind of lack of nutrition and the antibiotics really take on to the really affect the bone health, really affect the bone health. At least that's what I experienced. And he's having so many I get teary eyed but he's having so many health issues. And yeah, so overprotectiveness and मतलब, either I believe in God or I believe in medicines, but um, दोनों extreme में नहीं करना है.
Yeah, yeah. Mother talks about this, and mother labels this as a bad conditioning. It's like a distorted conditioning, what you were sharing. That as parents, we instill fear of all sorts in our children. It happens. I think that's furthermore a reason to work and keep working on our fears and instill so much faith that it's something has to ooze out. Let it be faith and not fear. FF. Both are starting with F. And we realize slowly that we have a choice. I remember, so यहाँ पे we have a swimming pool, and it's a common swimming pool, and people are, all kinds of swimming pools. I'm sure all of us are aware, especially जहाँ पे बच्चे हैं swimming pool में, वहाँ पे hygiene आप कितना देख लोगे ना, कितना chlorinate कर लोगे water को, somebody may not be really taking a shower fully entering the pool, right? And somebody at times I have seen children sneezing in the pool, थूक बाहर निकाल रहे हैं. All kind of activities happen when kids are there in the pools. So if as a parent you are finicky about these things and you are watching your kids in the pool, very soon you see this hidden or subconscious fear. You may not be wanting it, but it is there, that अगर बच्चा बीमार पड़ गया तो छींक आ गई, जुकाम हो गया, ये हो गया, पेट खराब हो गया, all kind of thoughts come. And I had been watching these, and now whenever the moment I see this coming to me, immediately I hand over my kids to Mother and Sri Aurobindo ki भैया तुम्हारे हैं, तुम संभालो. And I just invoke their presence all the time, and that took away my fear also, and that I'm hoping that gave stability to their immune system also, कि अगर होगा तो निकल लेंगे, अगर कुछ पेट खराब होता है, अगर जुकाम होता है तो उससे निकल लेंगे, गुजर लेंगे. और गुजर के और बेटर ही होता है इम्यून सिस्टम whenever it faces more challenges, or they will have robust immune system slowly so I think the more we become conscious of the happenings in us, the more we get also the ability to do something about it. है ना? तो अगर अभी पता ही नहीं है, अभी देखना ही नहीं शुरू किया अपने अंदर मामला क्या चल रहा है, तो फिर तो कर ही क्या सकते हैं, फिर तो सब सारा ब्लेम बाहर ही नजर आता है. बट अगर अपने अंदर देखना झांकना शुरू करते हैं तो पता लगता है कि अभी बहुत सारी इम्परफेक्शंस हैं, वीकनेसेस हैं, where we can work, we can, rather than fearing things, we can invoke, instill faith and certitude, and continue to hand over our children specifically, of for whom we fear very much, our loved ones, to the divine, that I don't know, you know the best, so offering it to you inwardly, and that I think makes us stronger slowly. Yeah. तो अगर ooze out करना ही है तो why not faith, why fear? Let us be one drop of poison less. जो होगा देखा जाएगा, अगर हो भी गया तो इतने लोगों को होता है, हमें भी हो जाएगा, देख लेंगे. Even if in the worst possible case one has to go through it. Yeah, anything more here, anyone? So this was about fear is hidden consent, and when we are afraid of something, it means that you admit its possibility and thus strengthen its hand. It can be said that it is a subconscious consent, which means that you're not actively doing it but participating in the handshake any which way. Hello, Dushman, I am in your party, something like that. So, anything more here? Anyone? So,
Yes,
आगे.
Didi, I want to ask,
हाँ,
share,
yes.
if you can share the first paragraph that you shared today, the first few lines, and as you're sharing, I'll share what I. So.
Yeah, I've shared it, highlighted it. Can you see?
Yeah. Do not torment. So, do not torment yourself and do not worry. Can I just read it once and then
Yes,
share what?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So do not torment yourself and do not worry. Above all, try to banish all fear. Fear is a dangerous thing which can give importance to something which had none at all. The mere fear of seeing certain symptoms renew themselves is enough to bring about this repetition. Yeah. So I just want to share, Devi, that it's very interesting that this paragraph came up today, because yesterday in the circle as well, I was sharing, behind kindness and behind receiving, and like I feel this, like fear. Like I'm also realizing as you're sharing that behind my procrastination is this fear of not being good enough, fear of making a mistake, fear of being wrong. And it is a very recent thing for me in life, like the last 7-8 years maybe. And it is somewhere in the bones, like it's in the it's nowhere in my mind, like I'm not thinking anything only, but it's somewhere in the bones, and I'm like wondering, efforting and of course offering it to the mother to able to get out of it, and she's also bringing me out of it and helping me slowly. as much as I can receive. But I'm just sharing because a lot of things came up. So I'm sharing that maybe, more light can fall on it right now through the sharing and through Mother's grace. Because in my journey, it has been, during teenage and 20s. So I've had a graph. As a child, I was very obedient and maybe, but during teenage, I came in touch with integral education and I kind of developed my own mind and my own individuality and personality. And uh, I, I was exactly in that age of 16 to 18 years. And so I developed my personality and I took decisions on my own. What career I want, what partner I don't want, whatever, you know. But a few years later, and I had reasonable success also, like whatever I wanted, that kind of what success meant to me, I had that in my terms and the worldly terms as well. But after some time, there was like this whole projection of from a lot of people, forces, whatever, that whatever you have done is wrong, like you are a failure and everything you have done is wrong. Because obviously, like, being independent also means, taking a stand means you will have to say to no to a lot of people. Maybe they could be your elder, your closed ones, whatever, but you have to go with your inner truth and you have to say no to people. And so there was this time basically that I started doubting myself, and that I think that was the moment that, of course, these forces act through people only. So that was the moment that, they took that thing to just project complete fear into me. And it's like, so, yeah. So, I mean, like, that is where the will to live, to do, has like now just kind of descended into one. Like, I feel like one ball inside, it's not coming up, it's not opening up really. Because anything, it's like that will to live, actually, that has like just descended into one, like, yeah. And so much so that even like writing, like I have been facing like a writer's block for some years. And it's basically this fear. It's coming from this fear of like not believing in myself. Because even for a writer, you have to be like deeply connected to your inner truth, and and because you're bringing out a new idea that is not yet in the, so obviously you will be different, but you have so much faith and belief that you're able to put it with that confidence. And somehow, yeah, so I'm just sharing. And what I want to ask you is that I found what you said about writing to be very interesting. So, in this situation, what are the kind of affirmations I could write? And if there is any other exercise also that I can do.
कॉम्प्लिकेटेड चाहिए या इजी चाहिए?
Easy. और पता है, it's very interesting that you talk about writing like this, क्योंकि ये मैं बचपन से कर रही हूँ. मैं राइटर और जर्नलिस्ट बनी इसलिए क्योंकि मुझे इतना अच्छा लगता था लिखना कि मुझे लगा कि मुझे कुछ भी हो जाए, मतलब मुझे परवाह नहीं थी कि मुझे पैसे मिले नहीं मिले क्या हो, मतलब मुझे बस ये था कि मुझे यही करना है.
बहुत अच्छा.
तो
देखो एक बात पहले, बिफोर वी कम टू द मेथड एंड whatever we can practice, one thing I would like to share, that it is not true fully that all the writers are fully connected to their inner truth. I do not agree with that. ऐसा नहीं है सही. अब देखो, जैसे I was listening to some interview of a very famous person, would not like to name, but she said that on her family many books have been written. ठीक है. और उसने बोला कि somebody asked, the interviewers asked do you resonate with any of them? And she said none of them is true. जिसके मन में जो आया उसने वो लिख दिया, है ना, जिसको जो परसेप्शन लग रही है उसके हिसाब से वो ठीक है ना। तो हम ये इसको हम एक वर्सेटाइल वास्ट होना यही चाहिए आइडियली, जो आपने कहा होना यही चाहिए, दैट वी मस्ट बी राइटिंग प्योरली कनेक्टेड विद अवर इनर ट्रूथ, बट दैट इज नॉट true as of now, for all. That we have to see, there are certain books which are just like written like that, and then there are others which are fully deeply written from a person's truth, and they resonate more deeply than any other. Yeah, so first that point, and secondly देखो चेतना बहुत सिंपल है। कबीर जी ने बात करी है सहज मार्ग की, है ना, सहज सिंपल, लेकिन हमारे ना माइंड्स एक्चुअली ऐसे हैं, उनको ना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड सामान चाहिए होता है। तो वो ना सिंपल को ना वो साइड पे कर देते हैं कि अच्छा ये किसी ने बताया, ये तो जाने दो। सिंपल भी अवेलेबल है, और सिंपल ये अवेलेबल है नाउ दैट वी वर टॉकिंग ऑफ राइटिंग। Simple affirmation that I know that I am taken care of by the mother, and we are all guided to the unfolding in our lives. Simple, कुछ भी नहीं है, या सिर्फ माँ 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 माँ, even that can give us so much of strength, writing it down, है ना। तो जो भी simplest possible आपके deep heart से resonate करे, जिस भी भाषा में resonate करे, इंग्लिश, हिंदी, गुजराती, मराठी, बंगाली, whatever one is native tongue, एंड सिंपल उसको बनाओ और बस भर डालो पन्ने। मतलब मैंने ये बहुत किया है, और इवन नाउ आई एंजॉय व्हेनेवर आई एम इन टर्मोइल, एंड इफ आई हैव समथिंग व्हिच इज टेकिंग मी नेगेटिव एंड आई हैव टू कंफर्म द पॉजिटिविटी, आई जस्ट राइट एंड लिसन टू योर हार्ट, ओनली यू विल नो व्हिच इज द बेस्ट एफर्मेशन फॉर यू इन दैट केस। और आपको वो अंदर से स्ट्रेंथन, वी हैड टॉक्ड अबाउट इट अर्लियर, दैट इट शुड स्ट्रेंथन योर बॉडी फ्रॉम विद इन, दैट एफर्मेशन। आपको उसकी पावर फील होगी उस अपनी बॉडी में, है ना। अब एकदम से कोई भी इशू अपने सामने लाओ, जस्ट इनवर्डली ब्रिंग एनी इशू ऑफ मे बी सेल्फ वर्थ, जो अभी आप बात कर रहे थे, ब्रिंग इट टू योर वन, जस्ट ब्रिंग इट फॉरवर्ड, रिक्रिएट इट, एंड इंस्टेड ऑफ दैट यू से I know that I am being guided and taken care of, and I am worthy of the divine grace, and feel the power if it empowers you. So whatever empowers you, I am worthy of the divine grace. Grace is flowing through me, it's working through me. तो जो भी आपको एम्पावर करे, आपको वो सेंटेंस चुनना है और उसको आप भर डालो, जो कॉपी रफ कॉपी पड़ी है घर में आप भर डालो खाली समय में अपने, and see how it will work like a medicine. It works and heals you from within. And all this because we were talking of the hidden consent, है ना, कि वो आप जैसे आप खुद ही बता रहे थे कि मैं एक्टिवली नहीं करना चाह रही हूँ बट वो हो रहा है ना। ये मैंने भी देखा है, मतलब like for certain relationships we can say, you don't know why you feel insecure but you feel insecure, है ना। कोई एक्टिव नहीं आप सोच रहे हो उनके बारे में, बट वो अंदर ऐसे एज इफ कि वो पुराना कर्म किया हुआ है जो नीचे बैठा हुआ है पुरानी सतहों में, है ना। तो वो जब आता है ऊपर दिखाने के लिए, वो चाहता है सफाई, उसकी हमने सफाई करनी है, उसको रिकॉग्नाइज करना है और उसको पॉजिटिव में ट्रांसफॉर्म करना है ना। जैसे वो पैंट की पॉकेट होती है, उसको अगर हम उसमें सैंड, जैसे छोटे बच्चे हैं हमारे, अगर वैसे ही पॉकेट डाल दें बिना उल्टी करे हुए वॉशिंग मशीन में, तो वो सैंड अंदर फंसी रह जाती है वॉशिंग मशीन में, है ना। और अगर वो पॉकेट को बाहर निकाल दो, जो अभी हम कर रहे हैं, फेसिंग अवर डिफिकल्टीज, फेसिंग अवर इनसिक्योरिटी, अब जब उसको आप मशीन में डालोगे तो बेटर चांसेस ऑफ गेटिंग देम क्लियर। तो आने दो बाहर, जितना आ रहा है, वी ऑल हैव टू जस्ट फेस एंड गो थ्रू इट, देयर इज नो पॉइंट सप्रेसिंग।
Yes, I have just one confession to make. You point out that consent, mother is also written that we have given that hidden consent to fear, and as I'm reflecting, I agree with that, because there was this point after say 10 years of my working as I felt was my inner truth, and there was one thing that did not happen my way, and that is when I started doubting my entire process, that मैं सही भी कर रही हूँ, मतलब कि am I really receiving guidance या मैं कुछ ऐसे ही करे जा रही हूँ तो मैं अभी तक इस particular चीज में successful क्यों नहीं मतलब I myself started doubting and that is what then these forces used to attack me. It used my own doubt to attack me basically. So I had given that hidden consent to fear which it saw, and then it like I myself started doubting. That seed was there which it then saw and caught up. So doubt को अगर complete trust में बदलना हो, what would be like the perfect
थोड़ा बहुत डाउट होना एक्चुअली में आप देखोगे जरूरी है. थोड़ी बहुत सेकंड थॉट्स होनी चाहिए क्योंकि अदरवाइज इट इज जस्ट ब्लाइंड एरोगेंस वर्किंग. So to be sure that we are on ground and we are open and receptive and we are flexible and yet we have a firmness in our view, है ना. वो दोनों का बैलेंस चाहिए. फर्मनेस इन द व्यू भी चाहिए, फर्मनेस इन द विजन भी चाहिए, एक डिसिप्लिन भी चाहिए, एक आपको पता होना चाहिए मैं कहाँ जा रहा हूँ, हल्का सा इनवर्डली यू हैव एन आइडिया. Secondly, you must also, when you listen to other people, it's good, I feel it's good to doubt because then I expand my horizon a little, है ना. मान लो मुझे किसी बंदे ने बोला अच्छा तू ये करने तो जा रही है बट तुझे क्या लगता है ये ठीक है या वो ठीक है, तो I will give it a thought, है ना, कि अच्छा let me see. क्योंकि उसमें क्या होता है when you give it a thought then you are open, you're flexible, you're not just blinded by your arrogance because arrogance is very blinding.
Yes.
So how to know that whether I am following an inner truth vision or I am following my own arrogance? How to know? So I feel a little bit of second thoughts and doubt, they are good for us in that sense. They keep us grounded, है ना, कि अच्छा देख लेते हैं ये भी क्या कह रहा है, है ना.
Yes, I do agree with that. That process also then happened with me. That वो थोड़ा जो ट्रिमिंग चाहिए थी वो हुई उस प्रोसेस में, मतलब कि कहीं कहीं जो मैं गलत थी एटलीस्ट वो तो बाहर आया मेरे करेक्शन के लिए.
बिल्कुल
आया.
हाँ बिल्कुल. और मुझे लगता है कि देखो एज लॉन्ग एज वी हैव अ ट्रू इंटेंशन टू मूव टुवर्ड्स द ट्रुथ एंड द डिवाइन, जो हमारे एरर्स है ना दे आर ऑल वेलकम. Our errors are his steps on the way. They're all welcome. Who is without sitting in this session today without errors? All of us have errors, mistakes, and we commit follies again and again. And yet, the process of unfolding of truth happens with them. But ये है कि अगर हमको पता लग गया है किसी चीज के बारे में और फिर भी हम उसको जानबूझ के रिपीट करते हैं, that can be called as foolishness. But otherwise all our errors and mistakes, through that the divine works in us. So we don't have to be afraid of committing mistakes and errors. All of the big giants you can see, जिनको हम appreciate करते हैं, देखो इन्होंने कितना काम किया, देखो इन्होंने कितना बढ़िया काम किया. If we झांको into their life, we will see how much risks and challenges and mistakes and errors they also have done. How much actually doubt they also had. Self-doubt. Everybody has self-doubt. It's good to doubt oneself. क्योंकि उससे ग्राउंडेड रहते हैं, उससे ओपन रहते हैं. नहीं तो एरोगेंस आ जाती है, भाई मुझे तो पता है. आई नो ऑफ अ पर्सन, वन कैन कॉल हिम ऑल्सो अ सीनियर साधक और वट एवर, इन द सर्कल, मदर श्री औरोबिंदो सर्कल ओनली. दूर से देख के आपको लगेगा कि वाओ, so many books written and whatever, all grace is flowing through him. But if we go closer, you will see a lot of ambition, wanting name, respect, and I am the one who did it, है ना. तो और वो कहते हैं कि भाई मेरा हो गया. तो अगर इंसान ने ये कहना शुरू कर दिया कि मेरा हो गया, इसका मतलब वो he is doomed now for something negative. So a little bit of self-doubt and little bit of second thought, they're all healthy, I feel.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. एक ईगो ही है जो कहती है कि मेरे से कुछ गलत नहीं हो सकता. या फिर ईगो ये भी कह सकती है, we all have all kinds of ego, that always I am the one who is not correct. Both sides. Any image that we form about ourselves is trapping ourselves in our egoistic consciousness. No need to form images, keeping ourselves fluid and running and flowy as much as we can. And remember, we have to remember, because all the time we are remembering something or the other, है ना. तो अपने खाली समय में always keeping our focus inwardly, remembering Mother Sri Aurobindo, all of us who are connected with them or any other divine form, so that our thoughts become pure, feelings become pure. थोड़ी, and as our purity increases in the being, health भी अच्छी रहती है, physical health increases, विगर इंक्रीजेस. प्योरिटी बढ़ती है तो कंसंट्रेशन भी बढ़ता है. आपने देखा होगा, द मोर यू आर नॉट रियली हैविंग पर्सनल इंटरेस्ट हियर एंड देयर एंड एवरीवेयर, no ambition, no whatever wants from the material world, you will see that your concentration is much better when you want to concentrate either on mother's name or something else that you are doing, है ना, क्योंकि एक sincerity develop हो जाती है उसके साथ. So with purity and concentration are these two aspects which go together. Sri Aurobindo talks about it. It's like murgi pehle aaya ya anda. They're both running after each other. More purity, more chances of concentration. More concentration brings more purity. It's like goal. Yeah. So I think we should not go further, and maybe with last few reflections we can end today here only. And we have to know that before we go beyond the mind, we have to make mind the master of our being. तो अगर मैंने सोचा कि मुझे इसके बारे में अब नहीं सोचना है, slowly I must be gradually able to master. The being must listen to that. किसके बारे में सोचना है अब वो मैं डिसाइड करूंगा. So all these negativities that we are engrossed in most of the time, now the time has come to withdraw our sanction and not to give fuel to them. वो mastery, mind की mastery over all the being, on feelings, on emotions, on body, कितने बजे उठना है, कितने बजे सोना है, कौन सा काम कंप्लीट करना है, कितना समय किस चीज को देना है. तो ये अंदर से एक मास्टरी डेवलप होनी चाहिए. उसके बाद हम सुपर माइंड की बात कर सकते हैं. सुपर माइंड उससे पहले नहीं आ सकता है. बिफोर दैट सुपर माइंड कैन नॉट. So first mind has to be the leader, and then that handing over takes place of to the higher states of consciousness. We can't jump to the super mind just like that. Yeah. So any last comments, anyone? Okay, so I think we should work on these two little paragraphs that we have read today. Always good to practice more. Read little but practice more. So whenever we notice any fear in us and any going towards a worry or anxiety, we have the power to transform it, and we must use that power. So either by handwriting, which again works on the subconscious, affirmations, turning our gaze to something higher and lofty, concentrating there, wanting strength from there. All these are various possibilities where we can do the transformation and not strengthen the hand of evil rather than strengthening the hand of divine. So I think we should maybe stop here today. Any last comments, anyone? Okay, so in absence of any further reflection, just taking last moment. Yeah, thank you for sharing the merit, dedicating all the merit collected of understanding, reflection, clarity, sharing it with all the sentient beings near and far. May all of us have contentment, true contentment in our life, lots of purity, joy, and progress. And lots of faith that we are all being taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.